Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Welcome back to Eye on South Asia. So Neil, we're going to move to our next story about Deepak Chopra, a spiritualist, a very well-renowned Indian, and the Canadian Indian Foundation has awarded him with the Canadian CIF Global Award.
As it is called, CIF Chanchalini Global Indian Award, which was instituted about 4 years ago in Canada. And as you said, Deepak Chopra, this has been presented with the honors. And before him have been great luminaries like Sam Pitroda, who was responsible for the telecom revolution. And then after him was the Tulsi Tanti, who was a trailblazer in the deployment of wind power. And then, of course, last year was Ratan Tata. So this is a significant, or rather glorious, accomplishment for Deepak Chopra.
Right.
And
the CIF actually works to recognize any individual who demonstrates global leadership, of vision and professional excellence. And they are also committed to promote stronger Canada-Indian ties.
Exactly, that is the mandate of CIF.
And they also want to educate Canadians on the changing face of India and have Canadians participate in this partnership.
That's right.
It's a good cause.
Another big recognition this year comes to our own Ajay Banga. Ajay was earlier with Citibank, then he moved on to head the MasterCard as the Chief Operating Officer and President, and then in 2010 he was elevated to be the CEO, the top honcho, top man, and now he has been appointed as the Chairman of USIBC, which is the leading, the biggest official body building the Indo-US corridor when it comes to the business relationships. They have almost 350 top US and Indian companies who are their members, and Ajay Banga is now going to be taking over from Harold Terry McGraw III, who is the chairman and CEO of McGraw-Hill Companies. This is a very prestigious position for which Ajay has been appointed, and before him, there have been Chip Kay from UBS, and there is Indra Nui, absolutely phenomenal personality who have headed this organization, and now Ajay comes in, and the president of USIBC feels that Ajay, as the head of MasterCard, as MasterCard's activities in India, empowering people via financial inclusion and making available to every segment of Indian society innovative payment solutions are central to future US-India growth story. That's Ron Summers, who mentioned this while Ajay took over this position. And Ajay is himself very, very excited to help build this corridor. And he says that as a long-term supporter and a member of USIBC, he has seen the council's stature and its influence rise dramatically, and he expects that he will, of course, contribute and take it to the next level.
That's a great honor, and we congratulate him.
Yes, certainly. Continuing with the award, this week was quite a bit of them, and we have another recognition at the Hofstra University, what is actually an interfaith event called Guru Nanak Award. And honestly, it was started with somebody as big as Dalai Lama. And everybody was puzzled. Once you give it to somebody as high as Dalai Lama,
how can you live up to that?
who are you going to give next time? Which is exactly what Tom DiNapoli, who is the New York State Comptroller, said, what do you do? And here, the founders of this award, which is basically Teji Bindra and his father, celebrated family, Sardar Ishwar Singh Bindra family, who have started this award. They picked up this time Dr. Ibu Patel. He's a Rhodes Scholar, and he's the best-selling author and the founder of Chicago-based Interfaith Youth Core. And he's actually only 35 years old.
Wow.
Think about it. As Tom DiNapoli said, he looks himself like a college student. And this is probably the first time around Ibu is getting this award. And who knows, 2 decades later, he may be again coming back to get the same award.
Right. I mean, it's like a lifetime achievement award, and he's so young, you know.
Yeah. And in fact, Thomas was so humorous that he feels it's good that Patel does not live in New York, because he may be a threat to Dinipoli's position, and he will run possibly against him, but thank God he doesn't live here. He was in his humorous note, and he is himself a graduate from Hofstra University.
Continuing on with the awards, we have 2 Indian Americans who received the SUNY Chancellor Award, and they were among 14 Stony Brook University students who received this award by the University of New York Chancellor Nancy Zimpher, and she presented the awards on April 6th at a reception held at the Empire State Building.
It's so strange that Stony Brook had the maximum, actually second highest honorees amongst the 250 students from all over the 64 SUNY campuses, and Hina Kochar and Priya Misra, these 2 individuals who got the honors, have been excellent in academics, which is a given for each of them.
Yeah.
And they are also involved aggressively in all kinds of activities. You think about National Collegiate Scholars, you think about Alpha Epsilon Delta Pre-Health, Golden Key International Honor Society, in the research, in sports, in engineering. I mean, their bio data, their resume reads so big. Same thing is with Mishra. She's from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, is a chemistry major, and is again an honor student. So they have not only maintained their academic excellence, but they have participated in an overall growth as individuals. So rightfully, they got these awards, and our congratulations to both of them.
Absolutely.
On the political front, in terms of accomplishments, D. Raja, who we I think covered in the story here, and he is a technocrat. He's got his IT company, and he actually went for a brief while to the Silicon Valley also, and now he contested elections which he could not make it earlier when he lost the bid for Allegheny County Executive. He was of course earlier serving as the town commissioner, but now he is contesting for the state's senator's position, and he feels that he is a very able candidate. And he says, look, I have a private and public enterprise experience. I have worked very well as the town commissioner, where I helped bring the taxes down, and his mandate is very clearly very strong, and he expects the voter will focus on that and support him. He's supporting lowering the taxes. He's talking about tackling the transportation needs and attracting jobs.
Right. These are very attractive issues, and it seems that the seat that he's running for is an open seat, since now the incumbent Republican John Pippy is not seeking a re-election, and the other 2 Republicans they've been unsuccessful running in the past. So it seems to be a very good shot for him.
He has a good chance, and he's a successful business, having built a company from scratch to as he's declared $38 million annual revenues.
Right.
So he has got a successful track record.
Definitely.
And he has a chance.
So we'll see what happens
State
there.
Bank of India, India's nationally recognized the brand of India. I think at one time their logo was the most recognized logo of India as a brand, and they have an international division which is headed by Hemant Contractor, who was here visiting from Bombay when they had an event in California.
Right.
You know, State Bank declared open their new card, which is the debit card. They already have a credit card and ATM cards, but this time they gave a debit card, and they think it's going to be a great product to the consumers, especially in California, where, like I said, they have several branches starting from Northern California to Southern California, and then they have 2 sister branches, one in New York and one in Jackson Heights, and they feel that this is absolutely a great platform, even though the economy of US has slowed down. So the overall growth of the bank has not been as much as one would have expected, but SBI has 170 foreign offices all over the globe with a balance sheet of 1.5 billion and a net income of close to 300 million is something to speak about.
Right,
And
that
that
they've already launched their debit cards in the Singapore, UK,
Correct.
and South Africa. So
Correct.
it seems like just the next natural step for them to take.
And they are
launch
all
here.
over. They are all over in that market. They are in San Jose, they are in Fremont, San Diego, Washington DC. I mean, they are growing. Of course, they are not huge, but the growth has made them a player, and they think they will continue to be a leader in this market. Coming back to the New York, we have the Republican Representative Joe Crowley, who is a Democrat from New York. He's a very respected, very recognized lawmaker. He has taken up a mandate to actually segregate the communities through what is called an Form I-699. The form actually clubs the Sikhs and the Muslims in the same, and unfortunately these two communities have been generally targeted for hate crime.
Right, and he actually wants to give Sikhs their own group because they are acutely susceptible to violence of its own kind, and he doesn't want, you know, there to be this kind of muddled way of handling the Sikh hate crimes.
Exactly. I mean, he cares for both communities, whether it's a Sikhs or a Muslims. I mean, we should not be victimizing any particular community. But what he's saying is, maybe it's a political move because this is an election year and they don't want to lose any of their seats. And he has got 92 Democratic members in the Congress supporting him.
Right.
So it may be politically motivated, but the whole idea here is to say that he wants to keep the identity of this more than 500,000 strong community in US, it's close to 600,000 plus, to be a separate identity, and Muslims to have their own separate identity so that they are not victimized. And from some track record or from some reports, 3 out of 4 Sikh boys are facing bullying. Wow. Which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
And this is when not all of them get reported. So he's really especially like I said, after the redistricting of this region in New York, and it's very strongly having the Sikh population here, so he's supporting that cause. I think it will serve him well.
Right. I mean, political move or not, this should help in terms of how to handle these hate crimes.
Exactly. And Sikhs had a great event. They had a Baisakhi celebration. This month of April is essentially the Baisakhi celebration all over US and Canada. And the same was celebrated with a great pomp and show at the Indian Consulate. And normally it is hosted by the Consulate along with the Sikh Art and Film Foundation, which is headed by Tejipindra once again. And this time Sir Mota Singh, who happens to be the first Sikh who has been an Asian judge and has been knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for his services in the administration, was there. He was a guest speaker. And of course, Tom DiNapoli and Dr. Satbir Singh Khalsa, who is an assistant professor of medicine and an associate neuroscientist from Harvard Medical School. He's actually a Canadian who was converted into a Sikh. They were all extraordinary speakers at the Baisakhi celebration in Consulate. And then the Baisakhi celebration came to the street when the 25th Silver Jubilee Sikh Day Parade, annual Sikh Day Parade on Madison. You should have seen 50, 60,000 people.
That's amazing.
All yellow colors. You could see nice visuals. We can show it to our audiences also. Were on the streets on a nice summer day celebrating Baisakhi, celebrating the rich and Sikh culture of.
Right. There were, at that Sikh festival, there were several VIPs, elected officials that attended the event. Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
They did not personally attend, but they always send their messages or their emissaries who come with the letters of support.
Right. So you attended the event, right?
Yes, of course. I was there, and we work with every community in closeness with them, especially these kind of big events, which are their annual celebrations. I missed the consulate celebration of Dr. Ambedkar's birthday because I was out of country, and it was celebrated again with a great pomp and show. His 121st birth anniversary at the consulate was celebrated. And this is the man who gave India the constitution and the will to handle the country through constitutional means, constitutional laws. And the India's ambassador to US, Mrs. Nirupama Rao herself, was at the consulate, and they celebrated his birthday with a great style, in a great style. And I think they also declared that there is a progress, the work in progress, Dr. Ambedkar's chair in constitutional studies in the Law School of Columbia University coming up. That will be a great development for all of us.
Yes, and as a very key person of progress and change in India, you know, it's great to be able to celebrate that.
Exactly.
Well, Sunil, that's all the time that we have today on our show. We will see you next week, same time, same place on Crossings TV. You can also find us on YouTube, catch up on all your latest episodes. And you can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/IonSouthAsia. Until next time, I'm Bhavna Vanan, signing off.
And I'm Sunil Hali. Have a great weekend. Summer is almost here. Get ready to celebrate every weekend with us. Eye on South Asia.
Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.